In this second part of the video of French Revolution, we are going to discuss about the establishment and convening of State General in France. The State General was first convened in 1302. After that, it was convened many a times, but on 5th May 1789, it was convened during the period of Louis XVI. This State General was a political body. This was forced on the King Louis XVI by the two privileged group who want that the king should take permission from the State General to impose taxes on this privileged group. The meeting of a State General, Louis XVI had to increase the taxes to incur the expenses of running the state, but he did not have the powers to impose the taxes according to his will alone. Therefore, the meeting of State General is called on 5th May 1789. The State General was a political body to which all the three states had to send their members that comprised of approximately 300 members each from the first and the second states and nearly 600 members from the third state alone. The members of the first and second state were seated facing each other while the members of the third state had to stand at the back. The third state was represented by more prosperous and educated members of the group. The peasants, artisans, and women were denied entry to the assembly, but the grievances of these people were listed in around 40,000 letters, which was brought by the members of the third state to the assembly. Earlier, the voting was done on the principle that each state has one vote, but this time the members of the third state demanded that voting should be done according to the head count. That means that each members of each state has one vote. The same was refuted by the members of the first and third second state. The members of the third state thus they decided to boycott the meeting in protest. The people of the third state demanded these things on the basis of the idea put forward by the philosophers such as Rousseau had put the same thought and talk about something very much similar to it, that how a government should be formed in his book Social Contract. As the member of the third state thought themselves to be the representative. Therefore, on the 20th June, they all assembled in the hall of indoor tennis court on the ground of Versailles. They declared themselves as a national assembly and sworn not to disperse until they had drafted a new constitution for France that will limit the power of monarch. At the time, their leader were Mirabeau, Abusses. Although Mirabeau belonged to a noble family, still he believed that feudal privileges should be stopped. He brought out a journal and delivered powerful speeches to crowd assembled at Versailles. This is a picture of the hall where the third state was convened. This is a tennis court oath where the member of third state had taken oath that they will form a new constitution for France and they will not dispose till the forming of this constitution. These are the pictures of Mirabeau and Abusses. Abusses, originally oppressed, wrote an influential pamphlet called What is the Third State? While the National Assembly was busy in drafting the constitution, France was seething in turmoil due to severe winter. The crop has failed and the bread prices were continuously rising. Bakers exploited the situation by hoarding the supply. Due to that, the women stormed into shops, and the same time the king ordered the troops to move into the city. And thus, on 14th July, the angry crowd stormed towards the Bastille. A rumor spread that in the countryside that the Lord of Manor has had the bands of brigands who were on their way to destroy their crop. Due to this rumor, the peasant caught in frenzy of fear started attacking Chateau, looted grains, burned down the documents containing the record of manorial dues. Faced with power of revolting subject, Louis XVI finally accorded recognition to the National Assembly. On the night of 4th August 1789, the Assembly passed a decree abolishing feudal system and taxes. The members of clergy too had to give their privileges. Death were abolished. The land owned by churches were confiscated. That resulted around 2 billion livres of wealth collected for the government. The abolition of monarchy and becoming a republic. The king secretly entered a negotiation with the king of Prussia. The ruler of other country planned to send their troops to put down the event that had been taking place in France. The National Assembly voted in 1792 to declare a war against Prussia and Austria. The people saw this as a war against king and aristocracies and thronged to join the army. The volunteers for Marseille sang a patriotic song composed by Rosette Asselet, and that's how it got its name Marseillaise, which later on became the national anthem of France. While the men were away fighting the war, the women left alone to handle the work and family. Some people even thought that the revolution should be carried further, as the Constitution of 1791 gave rights only to the richest members of the society. People start, People started forming clubs and discussing government policies. Most successful of these clubs were Jacobin Club, which got its name from the convent of Saint Jacob in Paris.